Hey guys, it's Mario here back with another quick video, and in this one we're gonna go over the worst training and the worst nutrition mistakes natural lifters make. These are mistakes I made throughout the years of training, and this is something I hear a lot from clients that when we talk about their history when it comes to training, when it comes to nutrition, these issues just keep occurring. And the first one, when it comes to training, that I see happen over and over again is that the guys will marry one single training philosophy, one single training plan, and they will not be willing to change. And I understand that change is hard, and we all know that change is hard. I mean, if you ever try to make any adjustments in your life, you realize that you keep falling back into your old patterns. And same as exercise is a really good habit, but exercise with the same old plan, when it doesn't provide results anymore, is a bad habit, right? So a good habit can turn into a bad habit. Essentially what's happening is that your body is changing, and as your body changing, your demands for more volume or less volume, or more intensity or less intensity, more frequency, less frequency, is happening as well throughout that period of time. And the problem is that if you keep doing the same plan over and over again, when you're not getting any results, you're gonna keep looking the same. And this is something that you see guys in the gym. I mean, it's not very uncommon to see guys not make any progress whatsoever year to year because they keep doing the same old plan. Either it's from some guru out there that told them, hey, this is the best plan, or they simply fall into that thinking that, hey, this is the thing that I'm doing and that's my plan, or I designed my own plan, so I'm kind of biased and I'm going to keep doing it. What do you need to do when this happens? First off, you need to have an open mind. So you need to be willing to accept that what you're doing is not the best thing that you can be doing for yourself. And it's really hard. Actually, you need to let your ego go, especially if you design the plan yourself, because you will be attached to that program. Another way to get attached to a program, especially if you invested money in it. So you bought a program and you paid, I don't know, 67 bucks, for some generic program. Then after a couple of months, it stops working and you're like, well, I paid money for that. Why is that not working anymore? Well, it's not working because your body adapted, and you need to be ready to adapt that program toward your needs. One easy adaptation that you can make is when that program stops working is look at if you need more volume or if you need more rest, if you need to take a deload, right? Those are very, very simple adjustments. Let's say you're completely rested, you can go to the gym, you keep doing those, let's say 3 sets of 8 to 12, and those 3 sets of 8 to 12 aren't giving those results anymore. So why not try 4 sets? Why not try training chest 3 times a week instead of 2 times a week? Regardless of what the fucking plan says, like fuck the plan, right? Make the plan work for you rather than you adjusting yourself to the plan. And this is something I see happen over and over again. Now, guys will stick to that freaking template that they got from a PDF and they will not be willing to make any changes. You have to be willing to make changes, especially if you're not a beginner. As soon as you become an intermediate lifter, you have to become a wizard. You have to become a person who is a scientist, right? A person who is looking at what the reality is telling them and adjusting based on that. So if a plan is not working, you're no longer a beginner that you can do whatever the hell that plan you have and make progress. Now, when you're an intermediate or an advanced lifter, it's time to actually make adjustments and to customize training plans toward your needs. And the 3 variables that are very commonly customized are volume, intensity, and frequency. With volume, we briefly touched on that. That's reps times sets times weights. So it's adding more sets, try add more sets and see if you can recover from that and make progress. Maybe you need to reduce the number of sets. Maybe you need to increase the frequency and that way increase the volume. Rather than trying to cram as much volume as possible into one session, why not try to train the body part 1 extra time per week, right? And these are changes that you have to be willing to make, and you want to make these changes in a very structured way. So you want to plan out, okay, you want to say, hey, for the next 4 weeks, I'm going to try to train my squat 4 times a week instead of what I did before, which was 2 times a week. And you just try it out and you see, is that giving you better results? And when you do that, you're kind of listening to your body and you know what your body is responding to, compared to like being stuck in a generic plan that just works for some people in some cases. And to be honest with you, like I never made any progress in generic plans. I always had to tweak something to make progress. If I was doing generic plans, I would get the worst results. Out of all my friends, we would all be doing the same freaking plan, and I would just like what the fuck? I mean, I don't get any growth whatsoever. And these guys, like, chests are exploding, their arms are growing, their legs are exploding. For me, it's like, what? I mean, there's nothing's happening, right? And pretty much the same nutrition, right? You have to adjust the plan toward your own needs. Things like low intensity, high intensity periods of deloading when you're too beat up, when you just can't go to the gym and you don't feel like you're ready, when your joints hurt. All of these things are called auto-regulation. You need to be regulating your plan to suit your needs. This is a big topic that I'm going to expand further on in more videos, but it's important not to get married to one approach and really be open-minded to change and be really open-minded to adjust the plan toward you rather than adjusting yourself to the plan. Because your body, as it's changing, the same plan that worked before no longer will work, and it might work sometime in the future because your body is in a constant flux, so in a constant need, and those needs are changing, and then you have to change the plan as well. So the second worst mistake when we're talking about nutrition, and this is the two extremes, the two most common extremes that I noticed with natural lifters, and the number one is not be willing to accept any fat gain when you're gaining muscle. So this is the mistake that I've made countless times in the second, third, and fourth year of training. Just be super paranoid about gaining any body fat. And the reason why this happens, I mean, obviously we worked hard on our diet, so we are kind of attached to that physique, and we have to kind of maintain that physique as long as possible. If we look at the muscle magazines, you know, the guys are ripped 365 days of the year, obviously. I mean, I'm not sure, I never met anybody like that, but I saw their pictures, so it must be true. And things like that. I mean, we're bombarded that the guys are constantly looking ripped and best shape of their life non-stop, and they're still making progress without gaining any body fat, which is not the case. Especially if you're an intermediate advanced lifter, you have to be willing to accept some fat gain when you're building muscle. And what this resulted in me is I would be trying some ridiculously complicated body recomposition schemes with massive amounts of caloric cycling, carb cycling, intermittent fasting, protein overfeeding, protein sparing, like all sorts of weird protocols, and I would be looking the same, right? I would, like, 6 months down the road, I'm like looking the same. I barely made any progress. I mean, that would be okay if I had unlimited time. Maybe I was gaining about, I don't know, 100 grams of muscle per month. You know, that might be cool, but I didn't see any changes. And you have to be willing to accept some fat gain if your goal is to optimize and really maximize the amount of muscle mass you're gaining. That's just a fact. And by how much fat gain you're willing to accept, I mean, there are debates whether you want to go a little bit more aggressive on the bulk or want to go more toward a leaner side. I'm a proponent of more toward a leaner side and really basing my muscle gain on my genetic potential, on my training age, which I'm going to leave a video below how fast you can actually build muscle as a natural lifter. So check out that link in the description below, which explains, and based on that, you can calculate how much you should be gaining on a bulk. The second extreme, so that was like being paranoid about fat loss. The second extreme is the very common one that I see, is guys who are too okay with gaining body fat. So these are guys who are just, well, YOLO, you know, like, let's just bulk. And then they bulk and they gain a massive amount of body fat, which destroys their insulin sensitivity and destroys their body's ability to partition the nutrition in the right way where it goes toward building muscle. In the end, what this results is a massive amount of fat gain. So let's say you gained 20 kilos in 3-4 months. Those 20 kilos, 60-70% of that will definitely be body fat, if not even more, especially in that rate. And what that happens is that you have to cut sooner, and also you have to cut longer. When you're cutting longer, you have to go a little bit aggressive, you know, because usually these people are a little bit impatient as well, because they were impatient on a bulk, so they will be impatient on a cut. You know, they want to get rid of the fat as fast as possible. What tends to happen when you go really hard on a cut is that you tend to lose lean body mass faster as well. And in the end, you took one step forward and now you're taking one step backward, resulting in you looking the same. So these are the two extremes that I see a lot. I mean, it really comes down to a balanced approach between the two that will provide a natural lifter the best results. And you have to be okay with that. You have to be willing to accept a little bit of fat gain on that gaining phase. You have to be willing to accept a little bit of muscle loss as well on that fat loss phase. And I'm going to be leaving links in the description below where you guys can check more details on how to do that bulk, how to do that cut properly. Aside from that, hope you guys enjoyed this video and let me know in the comments below if you have any questions. Aside from that, make sure to hit that subscribe button below to support the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.